we're back here. Hey, look at us two. Sitting here by ourselves.
You know, I don't know. Maybe. Let's see. I did put on my deodorant. I'm just trying to figure out why I come in, Dale leaves.
Yeah, well, it does that to me too, though. Like I'll just be sitting here, and he'll just get up and walk off, and I'm like, well, I haven't even been insulting yet. Give me some time to do that. Of course, on Tuesdays, Dale will be back in just a second. On Tuesdays, we get what I call him, local legend here, Bruce Cooper. Trying to get that to stick for you.
Hey, well, let me tell you, I was actually at the Cardinals game on Sunday.
Yeah, I was going to ask you.
Yeah, did some tailgating beforehand, and you know, I'll be honest, it's the first game I've watched in that stadium as a fan. I mean, it's the first game.
The regular seats?
Yeah,
I know. I was there. I ended up going because you can't give away tickets to that game, and so I ended up going. And I was like, I should have asked Coop where he was sitting at for this.
Yeah,
time.
we were actually in not bad seats around the 45-yard line on the visitor side, section 130. About 20 rows up.
That's not too bad. That's not bad at all.
No.
You guys see Bijan, sit on the bench an awful lot because the Falcons can't use him. Welcome back, Dale.
Well, you know what was really interesting to me, and I don't know what the rule is regarding signage.
Yes.
But it was like midway through the third quarter. You know, security was there was a guy that was sitting in front of us, so that means he had to be. I would guesstimate coming from around row 2 or 3, and security brought him up because he had a sign, and the sign simply said, Bijan, heart, like we love you, Tucson. And the guy was saying, hey, they're kicking me out for this. And I'm like.
They kicked him out. They didn't just take the sign. They kicked him out.
No.
From what I don't remember the exact rules, but I remember when the stadium was built, there used to be a guy, and you probably remember him. He's since passed away. That always had that sign, and he changed it for every home game. And it was some variation of Cardinals on the team they were playing, and he would hang it from the stadium. He was the only one that was allowed to have a thing because obviously it was grandfathered in and stuff like that. So I know, but why didn't they catch him before they put that sign in?
I don't know. I said that's not anything that's inflammatory or anything. And I'm like, and Bijan is coming home.
Yes.
And they were on, and like I said, I was on the visitor side of the stadium, and so clearly the guy's able to show his sign to Bijan or
right
whatever,
there.
you know.
Right.
I didn't get that. So I don't know if there's rules against signs
there used to be. I'm not up on it because they started confiscating my signs when I was middle finger, Bidwell and stuff like that. They stopped letting me take those in. So, but no, in all seriousness, there used to be rules. I don't know if there still is, to be honest with you.
Aren't there bigger things to be concerned about?
Absolutely. I mean, I could understand if there was something that was really egregious or inflammatory about the sign.
The Cardinals are so concerned about everything but their football team.
It's crazy.
Let's put it that way. They're worried about how the premium seats are empty every game that they just put in. They're worried about how that looks. And I'm surprised they don't have Cardinals staff members with empty seats go sit in them, like you do with the Oscars and stuff like that. But overall, what was the game? I mean, obviously Falcons win it there. You win as a fan. It is always interesting because, I do stuff a lot as media members and stuff. And then I'm like, I'm going to do it as a fan now. And it's a different perspective going as just a fan compared to, the other stuff.
It is. And, I don't normally watch the offensive line when I'm at a game. But to my surprise, I mean, Michael Carter ripped off a couple of 20-plus yard runs, and then there's a guy named Kiner running the ball, and DeMarc Carter. I'm like, what is going on? I said, so let me watch the offensive line because, I mean, this was so abnormal. I mean, I think it was the best Cardinals rushing game of the season. I don't know that for a fact, but it just seemed to me that was
they had something like 95 yards at halftime rushing. I can tell you because I tracked the stats. They had like 20 in like the last 4 or 5 games that they played at halftime. No, they were ripping them off. I was telling Dale, the offensive line was the best, even when Froholt went down and they had to move Gaines over.
Yeah.
The line was impressed. Now, what I was questioning is that just the Falcons' D-line is terrible?
Well, no. Hey, look, the Falcons have not been as egregious against the run as the Cardinals have been here lately. But I started watching and I started seeing 71. So I knew that was John Gaines because he'd been with the team for a while. But then there were 66. He was playing left tackle. 78 would come in. I didn't really know who these guys were. 56. And I found out 56 was the Cardinals' late round draft pick from I guess named Connor was his last name. But
he's played a little bit over.
Really, but because I was watching, I'm like, what is different here today? But that's the thing that stood out to me. And then there is one other thing. Brissett throws let's call it a 50-50 ball. But it was an incredible catch by Michael Wilson.
Oh, the touchdown or the interception?
The touchdown.
Yes.
Because, I mean, I thought it was incomplete. Replay, I mean, the fans are just screaming. They're screaming. They want Gannon to throw the challenge flag. And sure enough, I mean, every replay, I said, he caught that ball.
He caught it with his legs.
Well,
it went between his legs.
Yeah, well, then in the second half, there's a ball coming towards an end zone. It was almost like another 50-50 ball. But I tell you what, Marvin Harrison Jr. did a good job pushing off, getting separation. Now he just has to catch the ball.
Yeah. And he jumped. Why did he jump on that play?
Well, why does he let the ball come to him?
That's issue number one.
It came to his body.
But he didn't have to jump. The defender was on the ground or headed toward the ground at least.
Yeah, and so
I know.
I just said, this is a huge difference between winning and losing. Mm-hmm. I mean, it really is. I mean, if you can have receivers that can catch the ball, make difference in the game. I mean, look, you don't see like I was watching some games the week before. There's Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua. Mm-hmm. I mean, guys that just make plays. I mean, on third down, fourth down, making sensational grabs, keep drives alive.
Do you know what you notice about those guys on those third down plays, though? They have separation and they're somewhat open. There's a window to throw it to them. Have you noticed with the Cardinals, there isn't any on big plays? Everybody's blanketed. It's an amazing thing to watch when you watch the Cardinals compared to other teams out there. But don't skip over this fact as the game went on. Trey McBride, end zone catch, hit him right in the hands, drops it. He's about to get lit up, but he still dropped it from that play. Then the next play hit him in the hands again. And some people told me the defensive guy made a good play, but Michael Wilson at the end didn't fight for that ball that was intercepted. The defensive guy was more aggressive going forward. So as that game went on, you saw some easy catches going by the wayside from your superstars.
Well, you saw something a little different than I did. I didn't think that Michael Wilson. I thought the ball was not thrown well.
It was thrown toward. Well, I'm not going to call it a back shoulder throw, but it was a throw that he could have come back to, and the defender jumped on it, and Wilson was kind of just there.
Yeah. Well. In addition to that, I mean.
I'm not knocking Wilson for it. I'm just saying you put that together with the Trey McBride drops and big situations, things. As that game went on, you saw some guys, I'll just say, focus disappearing a little bit.
Yeah, well, look, this season's lost, and here I find myself, and I'm sitting there watching a number of key guys go down. I mean, I hate it. Look, when Walter Nolan went down with that non-contact injury, the first thing that came to my head is like it's an ACL because he knew. I mean, you can see he's kind of like crying there, and so he knows. Garrett Williams knew. He knew, and so we've learned that it's an Achilles issue with him. But I mean, and so I was asking myself as I'm sitting there, man, because Josh Sweat went out before that. I don't even know what
ankle.
Okay.
Which was weird because they said he was questionable return. We never saw him on the sideline. Like in the third quarter, I was like, Sweat hasn't come back from an ankle injury. And then sometime late in the third, they said he was out, unable to come back. And I'm like, really?
Yeah. So I found myself, particularly after the Nolan injury, saying, should I just find my key players, McBride, Wilson, and Buda Baker? I mean, should I just sit them down and say, because
Buda got hurt and this guy got rocked a couple times in this game and got hurt.
Because here's the problem. Here's the problem when I say that is that I already see that Williams and Nolan, their injuries are going to bleed into next year.
Absolutely. How many?
And so I'm looking and I'm saying, my key players. Mm-hmm. Do I want them to potentially have an injury that could bleed into next year as well?
I asked Dale that question yesterday.
Okay.
My thought is Jonathan Gannon comes back next year.
Oh, stop it. Come on now.
Hear me out. And I thought this during the game after Nolan went down. You want to know why? you have star player or players that are going to be integral part of your team next year, missing significant time next year. These are minimum 9-month recovery windows,
Sure,
right?
sure.
And then you got the other guys out there. You have a quarterback question mark. You're not going to hire a guy to come in with half your team, half your guys not coming back next year. So
look.
you keep him for another year, sacrificial lamb. You blow them out in week 6 when they're losing and everything. Go interim, and then you come back at that point, and you set up for 27. Is my thought? Because you're not going to be able to hire Dale. Are you going to hire somebody in this going into next year with all these injuries bleeding into next year? And you're going to get a top level coach to come in and go, I'm willing to sacrifice next year.
Well, tell me the last time they got a top level coach in here to begin with a healthy group.
Let me dream.
Yeah.
Let me dream.
Well, let me just say that this is to why I disagree with you. I mean, I got there at like 10 a.m. because they said that's when the gates open for tailgating.
Yeah, you tailgating out there?
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, and so I got a chance to talk with a number of fans, especially because the tent that we were
You're on the
in.
green, you're on the lot. You're on the
On the Great Lawn.
Thanks for the invite, Coop.
It was a great band, by the way.
Dale.
playing. But there were like there's all these adjacent tents that kind of connect onto yours, and so there's a couple people that recognize me. We're throwing the ball around. We're talking to him, and I asked him. I said, "What's your thoughts about next year?" You know, and I'm telling you, it was unanimous. They all wanted Gannon gone.
Yeah.
They wanted Gannon gone.
I agree. Yeah.
And so I'm like, man, that was an interesting perspective for me.
But now, here's what I want you to take a step back.
Okay.
And listen to what Steve said. Yeah, in a perfect world, you blow this staff out.
I want Gannon gone.
You bring in a young and up and coming dude and a guy like that's up in Chicago and all that. But that's in a perfect world. But who are you selling this job to that's worth that?
Dale, I've already told you guys I'm going after Steve Spagnuolo from the Kansas
But
City.
what do you-
Steve
what do you think?
Spagnuolo's going to go, why?
No.
They're all gone.
No, he won't, because it'll be another opportunity for him to be a head coach. And here's the deal: he's going to bring a different perspective from a defensive standpoint.
Yeah.
And I'm almost certain he's going to bring an offensive assistant from Kansas City and make him his offensive coordinator. So and again, guys, it's all about culture. Because I'm gonna tell you, I look over at the Phoenix Suns arena, and there's a guy named Jordan Ott. I couldn't, there was that, but he brought in a culture that was kind of new and different in terms of how aggressive the Suns would be from a defensive standpoint.
Okay, so here's my question though, Coop. And while I agree with you, Jordan Ott, somebody said he got coffee at Michigan State one time, and that was one of the reasons he got. I don't know if that's true or not. But is it him? Or is it him combined with Dylan Brooks?
No, there's no question.
Combined with what he's got.
There is absolutely no question that Dylan. If you ask me the biggest single difference with the Suns, I would tell you that it's the mentality and toughness that Dylan Brooks has brought here.
Right.
But I don't want to be a guy that overlooks someone like Jordan Ott, because what he was able to establish in Cleveland as an assistant, I think he brought those same elements over here.
Cleveland's not doing as well this year without him.
They brought those elements over to Phoenix, and so I think it's combined there. So, but here's the deal: Spagnuolo has been a part of, I believe, 4 Super Bowls with the Kansas City Chiefs, and every year except for this year, that Patrick Mahomes has been in the league, they've been in the AFC Championship game. Yeah. So at some point, you have to give Spagnuolo a little credit, because I'm telling you, when Tyreek Hill left and went to Miami from Kansas City, the offense was different. It was all about Mahomes and that dynamic offense. After he left Hill, the defense actually helped carry
for a couple
Kansas.
years.
Yeah. And so I'm bringing that perspective into Arizona with the Cardinals from my standpoint. Right. And I think it'll make a difference, because, see, when you bring in fresh ideas. You bring in people who can put you in positions to make plays, or maybe schematic are different. I think that it can change the culture.
Okay, and I understand. Hey, let's put it this way: I would like this entire coaching staff gone.
Okay.
So we put that over there.
Okay.
Now let's look at reality. You approach Steve Spagnuolo. He's had a head coaching job. Failed. Is he taking this job?
Sure he is. He wants
He's
to second.
taking this job.
Yes, he will.
You don't think that, hey, Andy Reid's going, I wouldn't take that with a 10-foot ball.
It's not about what – look, that's going to be a guaranteed 5-year contract that puts him in a financial bracket that he's not even in Kansas City. That's number one. Number two, he's anxious to prove himself again because we've talked about on this very show coaches who failed initially and then became Super Bowl champions like Bill Belichick.
I mean,
and
I
so forth.
want Robert Salah to be the next head coach, but Robert Salah is not. He did this in the Jets. He's not coming to Arizona.
Okay, he might be a little bit more selective, but I believe a guy like Spagnuolo.
It has been a while, and he's getting up there in years. So, at what point do you say, "Hey, I'll wait for the better opportunity," and that never comes along?
Right, and I'm going to give him the opportunity or the chance to decide, what he likes at quarterback.
Because here's what really bothers me too, Coop, is I see a lot. What's happened to the Cardinals that happened to the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks are coming into spring training with 3, 4, 5 guys
Injured, yeah.
It's still injured, and you don't know when they're coming back. At some point, now these guys are getting hurt in December, and you did. Sometimes for some reason you're getting smarter as you get older. I'm not so sure that I play the McBrides and the Budda
especially in the cold of Cincinnati.
These last 2 weeks, just sit them down.
Budda was dinged up last weekend. Hey, his concussion's out there. He needs to sit down this week.
Yeah, and keep in mind the Cardinals were highly effective throwing to Elijah Higgins as tight end. I don't know
Falcons did a great job blanketing Wilson and McBride in this game. They're the first team to blanket both of them and shut them both down.
Yeah, and look, it wasn't like and maybe that's what helped open up the running game because the Cardinals did a really good job running the ball, and they did a good job finding some of those check down or secondary receivers like Higgins. I mean, Higgins made some nice run after catch.
Some yards. Some yak involved in that. I'm looking it up here real quick. That's what I'm trying to find on my phone here. So they finished with 132 rushing yards. Even that drive that Kiner had. Kiner drove the ball down.
He had 11 and a 12-yard run.
And they get to the red zone. What are they? The 6-yard line, 3 throws, 3 incompletes, field goal attempt. I'm just tired of watching this garbage on the field.
But isn't that like almost an epidemic in the NFL?
Yes, it
is. I mean, when I watched that Baltimore team.
Well, they sat down. They sat down the stud running back.
He fumbled early in the game, but then he came back and he was chewing them up. And then you take it out in the fourth quarter. Yeah. I understand if it's 40-10 and you just throw the ball over the place, but I shake my head.
Cardinals had 95 rushing yards at halftime. They finished with 132, and it wasn't like they were getting blown out where they needed to throw it. They were still in this game.
Yeah.
How much did you look at the statue on the sideline while you were there in person?
Oh, you know what? I would have needed binoculars to see him across the field. Yeah,
it was funny. Every time he moved. So there was a play at the end. When the Cardinals started using their timeouts at the end to get the ball back and stop them. You watch any other game out there. Head coaches, you've seen Sean McVay. We talked about it yesterday. Run 30 yards to call a timeout on an official. So he calls his first timeout, and he's, of course, standing on the sideline, arms crossed, calls timeout. Ref goes. Next play, this is the one they didn't call timeout on. The ref's standing about 5 yards away from him. And Jonathan Gannon just standing there, like he does, the statue. He just standing there. The play ends. The ref turns, looks at him, and he doesn't move it. He's just, he might look at him or mouth something, but he's just arms crossed. And the ref's like, all right, and just jogs out and does his job. And I'm just like, in those positions, you stand next to the ref. Every other coach stands next to the ref, tells them ahead of time, hey, we're going to call timeout, or hey, we're not going to call timeout here. Just let them know. The ref was even like, really? You're going to stand over there and make me look at you to run in? Okay, whatever. It's just there's no urgency. There's no anything. And I was telling Dale, I was driving home from the game. And I just, the light came shining on me from above and just the light bulb went off. And I sat through the Steve Wilkes year, and they made an offensive coach change that year, you know. That was a really disappointing year. I sat through a lot of seasons since 96 of just bad football. And this year just feels different on it. And I've determined that the difference is the coaching staff. They don't inspire you. Dave McGinnis is the worst winningest coach in the history of the Cardinals. And I remember his tenure fondly. Why? One heartbeat. Oh, we lost, but we're one heartbeat. And you just got inspiration from the guy. And Jonathan Gannon, it's just like, here we go again. He doesn't care. Why do I care? And that's it. And that's the reason why, Jonathan Gannon needs to go. Is there's just no inspiration.
I can tell you the other thing that makes me, if I was cheering for the Cardinals, really bothered is the fact that the other three teams in your division.
Yeah, 11 wins.
The other three teams in your division.
Yeah.
And they ain't going away anytime soon.
No, and Dale, what they have done is that you can go down their roster and they have drafted Pro Bowlers, impact players that make a difference. I mean,
Puka was a what draft pick, Dale? Fifth, I think we said.
round.
Fifth round. They found a fifth rounder receiver.
Yeah.
And we can't find a number 4 receiver in the fourth pick.
4 overall in the first round. Yeah. I hear you. Look. I just don't know how you can bring Gannon back.
I don't disagree with you. That was my thought process during the game was, you're not going to get anybody that wants to come in here with these injuries that are happening, the decimation of it. And that was my initial thought. I don't know if I believe it, but that was my thought. It went through my head, so I'm kind of just speaking it out there to see. I don't disagree. I mean, there needs to be a full blowout here. I would keep Monty, though. I think GM should have 2 chances to fix them.
I'm okay
chance to miss them.
And here's the deal. So naturally, being at the Cardinals game, I miss a lot of the games because I'm usually in my man cave just switching around from different games.
Yeah.
Because I get the NFL Sunday ticket package. Well, so I go home now. I'm having to watch all the highlights, and so one of the games that intrigued me because I knew what it meant in terms of potential postseason play was Carolina and Tampa. Mm-hmm. Now, I thought for sure Tampa was going to win the game.
Yep.
All right? I mean, that's what I put.
They blew up my parlay.
And so I'm watching Robert Young. He pulled this Houdini act that I've seen so many times with Kyler Murray here, and he throws the game, what turned out to be the game-winning touchdown.
Not Robert Young.
Just say Young.
Young.
Well, it'll come to it now that we're out of it.
That's like that just sounded wrong.
Yeah, it's not Robert.
Yeah, Young.
But the Panthers that were all struggling to.
Yeah.
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young. Okay, thank you. All right, thank you, Dale.
Can't say the wrong name because we're all gonna.
Okay. So let me start over. So I see Bryce Young.
There you go.
Do this Houdini act that I know Cardinals fans have seen many times with Kyler Murray. So it takes me, and so if you don't have a dual threat quarterback there. That's the difference between you going to the postseason and Carolina and going home. So it just reiterates my point that I don't want Jacoby Brissett as my quarterback going forward. I just don't. I've always been a guy that wants a mobile quarterback because they just make things happen.
No, and I'm with you. I would love Jacoby Brissett to be my backup.
Yeah.
Sure. And ideally play 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
Not 12.
Right.
If I said, who's the Panthers head coach? Name him. Go.
Panthers head coach?
Starting to see.
This is my point.
Wait.
No, this is my point. It doesn't matter if you come up with it or not now. You've proven my point. Canales, yeah. This is my point. Name the Seattle Seahawks head coach. Go.
Mick.
Thank you for proving my point again.
McDonald.
You get a head coach, an up-and-coming guy. Cardinals just chose the wrong one with the Eagles defensive guy. But you have to get a young guy, and a young guy can change it around. Bryce Young was on the scrap heap of the NFL, and Oh, earlier this year, maybe the Cardinals and Panthers can switch quarterbacks.
Oh,
Maybe they
stop
get
it.
different lights.
Stop it.
And now look at them. It starts with coaching, and it goes down
Well,
to everything else,
well,
and you've got the wrong guys.
Well, or does
here.
it start with ownership and go down through
Yeah,
everything?
look, look.
Yes, but the Panthers owners, he's not a good owner either
He's changed a little bit.
because he's tired of people yelling at him all
Yeah.
the time.
Hey, look. I'll take you back 2 years ago. Bryce Young, number 1 overall pick. Some guy named C.J. Stroud goes second.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Stroud was what, AFC Rookie of the Year.
Yeah,
we lit it up.
And
He's
so
struggling
and
this
so now you had a lot of the fan base really down on the Panthers. We had a chance to take Stroud, and we took Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. Well, roll the clock forward now 2 years, and yeah, Texans will be in the playoffs again.
There's talk of C.J. Stroud not getting his extension, but the way he's played.
Well,
this year.
CJ has definitely regressed. But again, here's the deal: Texans have the best defense in football, and so here they are. They're going to be a playoff team.
But do you know how they became the best defense? The head coach
Drafting.
gave up defensive calling duties. They made a change. How's that working out, Cardinals?
Well, yeah.
The head coach went, I ain't doing a good job on defense. I'm giving this to somebody else. And boom, best defense in the NFL in the last 6 weeks, 7 weeks of the year. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I'm just saying that the temperature in the room can change, or the narrative can change regarding quarterbacks. But
Yes.
one thing that won't change is their ability to run and throw. How many times have we seen Patrick Mahomes? Now we've seen his great arm, but how many times during their Super Bowl runs have we seen him make game-winning plays with his feet?
Yeah.
And so that's why, and that's why because I was out of the Cardinals again, and I said that to go back to this. I'm out of the Cardinals game on Sunday, and it's unanimous. They all want Gannon gone, but they like Brissett back. I'm like, dude.
Well, because they want, I'm assuming they want him back as a bridge quarterback because if you draft Mendoza, let's just say they draft Mendoza, he's not going to be ready to play next year, and it's just a wasted year.
Mendoza doesn't have the wheels I'm looking for.
No, but
either.
I'm not saying, I'm just throwing out a
Yeah,
quarterback.
Hold
I
on.
get
So,
you.
so you keep saying that.
So you keep Brissett as the bridge guy.
It's one thing to say it. Who do you have in your mind? Who that's plausible?
All right. Well, here's the deal, and I've said this before.
I heard Kyler Murray's going to be available.
Kyler is my quarterback until I find someone better. He's my quarterback until I find someone
Kyler
better.
Murray. You want to know the dead giveaway on why Kyler Murray's not coming back with this?
He doesn't want to. I understand. that.
No. But there was a very obvious thing on Sunday.
Oh, he wasn't there. No show.
Well, he was sick right after being in Oklahoma. No. I went to the team shop afterwards, and all the Kyler Murray jerseys and shirts with Kyler Murray's number 1 on it were outside of the team shop on just racks of stuff. 75%
Fire
off.
sale.
Everything on the inside of the team shop was 50% off. Everything as Kyler Murray was outside
Yeah,
on
well,
racks,
look,
75%.
look,
If you want to know what moves are coming for teams, get with the team shop guy.
Look, I don't look. You just asked me my opinion.
No, I'm just saying that's the dead giveaway.
But
of
yeah,
what's coming.
I agree that the honeymoon or the marriage between Kyler and the Cardinals is irrevocably.
But if you get a new coach in here, can that be saved for a year or so?
Well, I'm not averse or against the Cardinals trying to find a new quarterback, but I just can't put you call Gannon a statue. I just don't want a statue back there.
This isn't the year to be looking for a quarterback.
No, it
is
isn't.
My point. There's not any good. There's
it-
no Sam Darnolds out there.
No.
There's none of those types of quarterbacks available in the NFL. There's no good draft picks. This is not the year to be looking for your quarterback.
Absolutely. And so I think that the quarterback that would give the Cardinals the best chance to win next year, having said that, is Kyler Murray.
I agree with that. But Kyler Murray.
Yeah. Look. He wants out, and the Cardinals want out. I mean, look, I had no idea that he had called in sick during the week, and because I saw
Well, he
him,
was at that
I
Oklahoma
saw
game.
him at the Oklahoma game.
He called him
shot.
sick after that. Yeah.
Oh, it's after that?
Yeah, he came back and then he's like, "Well, you don't want a sick guy hanging around, do you? And you might."
Oh, I thought
might
he
get
was.
hurt.
I thought he was sick leading up to that game.
Well,
It was
I
close.
heard.
Okay, then I stand corrected. I stand
don't go by what I'm saying. I heard that he went to that game, and then after that game, he came back, and then they were like, "No." yeah, you're sick. Get out of here.
Well, something like that is possible. I mean, you know,
Yeah. But like you said,
but you know,
but here's the problem with Kyler Murray. It could go either way. Is my point.
Yeah,
If Jacoby Brissett wasn't at that game and they said he was sick, you go, all right, Jacoby Brissett must be really sick.
look,
Kyler Murray says he's sick, and everybody gets all these 12 different theories on what's happening.
Yeah. Look. I don't think there's any question in my mind that Kyler Murray is not, and this is just me speaking now. This is me speaking. I don't for 1 minute believe that he has a season-ending foot injury. Not one
they're
minute.
lying about that foot injury.
I think Kyler Murray told them once he found out that they were going to stick with Brissett, it's like, dude, I'm out of here.
I think it happened. No. Oh, you want to know my theory?
Okay, go ahead.
He got hit in the face with that football, and he was done. He was done before that, and that was his excuse that he was done at that point. They forced the Cardinals to go with Jacoby. He got hit in the face, and you're out with no walking boot, no surgery, practicing full speed leading up to that Cowboys game.
Okay. Let me ask you this.
He was done before
Okay,
that.
I'm gonna get you on your theory here. I just want a little background. Clearly, there was a miscommunication between the center and the quarterback because the snap came and he was not expecting that.
And he broke his foot.
Are you trying to tell me that miscommunication would lead to
What I'm telling you is going into that game, Kyler Murray had already soured on the Cardinals and the coaching staff, and that was the excuse.
Oh, I see. Okay.
That was his excuse to say, I'm done.
I'm going to go with Coop on this. The fact that something happened to his foot. How? Why? I don't know.
But nothing bad enough that he couldn't play.
That he couldn't play, or at least with a week off, couldn't play. And then when they said we're going with Brissett, him and his team said, and plus there's that injury guarantee thing in his contract that guarantees another 15, 16, 18 million dollars.
But you got to keep in mind also, I mean, Kyler Murray, you know, this team was probably losing majority of their games the rest of the year, whether Kyler Murray was playing.
Exactly.
And you don't think that Kyler Murray doesn't know that? He doesn't want to go out losing 9, 10, 11, 12 when he's got one more contract at least coming.
Yeah.
You know, and stuff to that. So, I mean, all those things factor in. But Kyler Murray, to me, is a guy that just doesn't want to do the extra stuff to be great. Every quarterback in the league hires an external quarterback coach in the offseason to work with them. Josh Allen hired somebody that works with him on just his stance on throwing the ball, stuff to that. Every quarterback does it. You know the one quarterback in the league that hasn't done it ever in his career? Kyler Murray. He doesn't do the extra to get stuff done. When he faces adversity, he packs it up and he goes home.
Well, let me put it like this. I don't know what you mean by, I don't know what constitutes extra, but when I was at 12, Kyler would have his whole team, his whole receiver group, he would pay for them to come and
that stuff.
Yeah, and he did. So, but that's neither here nor there. I just think from what I've been able to, and this is just me again, from what I've been able to gather, everything has come so easy for Kyler because he's always so athletic. I mean, he's a high school star in Texas. Are you kidding me? He set records that are just gaudy and unbelievable. And you know the litany of great players that's come out of Texas. Mm-hmm. And so then he goes on to college, starts at Texas A&M, transfers to Oklahoma, and he's a Heisman Trophy winner. Yeah. I mean, there he is playing Nick Saban in Alabama in the semifinals of the national championship playoffs. And so now he comes to he's a number 1 overall draft pick in the NFL. But not only just that, he's the 9th pick in the first round in baseball. So that speaks to this kid's athletic abilities and talent.
Don't question that at all.
And so I think that what really caught him by surprise is that all that stuff I was able to do in high school and college, it doesn't work here.
That's why he hit some adversity, and he's like,
not only that, but he's now fighting people that he could outrun. Yeah. He's not outrunning.
That 300-pound defensive lineman's catching and running him down now.
Yeah, I think it's more those linebackers. They're able to get to him before he could turn that corner and stuff. So I think the adjustment then became him. It had to be. It was incumbent on him to make those adjustments. But at the same time, I think the Cardinals did a disservice to him once they finished that once DeAndre Hopkins went down, because they were 10-2 people.
Yeah.
They were 10-2.
Yeah.
And they never played. He's never played with another receiver quite like that again. Because as you all know, D-Hop missed the first 6 games.
I will put the Cardinals have mismanaged Kyler Murray to the nth degree, to the point of that clause in the contract. Because that just turned everybody against him.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Cardinals
there's
have
no
completely mismanaged Kyler Murray, and I believe he needs a change of thing to kind of get a fresh start.
Right.
But at the same time, let's say that happened to Joe Burrow. He would have fought through that. And I'm going to prove everybody wrong and done the.
Well,
Kyler Murray
sure.
just doesn't give you the impression. I know he
yeah,
does extra stuff. Don't get me wrong.
No,
but he doesn't look like he's the guy that's like, I'm going to fight. He's more of the guy that goes, you know what, I'm going to leave.
Well, to your point, the fact that the Cardinals even included that language in his clause, it speaks volumes.
I know.
So I'm not gonna argue that.
But I mean, it's
that
just
point at all.
mismanagement by the Cardinals.
Sure it is. And it started with Cliff Kingsbury allowing Kyler to yell and shout at him on the field, on the sidelines. Dude, no, you can't have
the statue won't stand for that. He might hit you if you do something wrong.
well, Coop, and the other thing, and I said this whether it was last week or yesterday, the fact that if I'm a general manager these days, I'm trading most of my draft picks.
That's what I say.
I want guys that I know have went from that college level. I don't care how good you are in college. I don't care because I don't know what your transition's going to be. I don't know how you're going to react to getting beat maybe for the first time in your life. To get
you see that with Robinson. Your first injury. How do you come back from your first injury?
And yet, if you've been playing in the National Football League for 2, 3, 4 years, I know you've made that transition. I'll give you a second-round pick for a starter.
And that's what I argue. Marvin Harrison Jr. has turned out to be I'm calling him a bust at this point. He is just an absolute bust at this point. Can he change it? Yes, he's a bust. He doesn't. All of a sudden, he doesn't know how to catch. I'm going to say he doesn't want to catch a contested.
Well, I wouldn't say he doesn't want to, but I'm not going to argue with you that he's been a bust to this point.
You could have traded that 4th pick and got a receiver that is proven in the NFL, and you would be better off today than taking him as the 4th pick. That's my argument. Yeah. Whatever your draft pick is this year, bundle it for somebody that's proven themselves, that's available to come onto your team. You're going to have better chances of success doing that than you will picking somebody.
Let's put it like this: the Cardinals' track record of, I mean, if you look at right now, you'd probably say their best player offensively was someone that was drafted in the Steve Keim period.
Look at their free agency signings.
And Keim before that, really didn't have a great draft history to begin with anyway.
I mean, Robert, go ahead.
So now I try to find out, okay, so what's been Ossenfort's best player drafted?
It's been a struggle.
And I probably have to come and stop at Paris Johnson Jr. And
who was McBride drafted under?
Keim.
The previous
Keim. Okay.
Was Paris Monty draft pick 3 years ago? I thought he was before that.
No, it was Monty. It was Monty.
Yeah, no, it's been terrible.
See, that was a draft that Monty came in his first year. He had the 3 overall pick.
Okay.
A lot of people had projected Will Anderson.
Right. That was the trading thing. Yeah, that's right, because Will Anderson could have been on the defensive side.
Well, of course, I was trying to get the Cardinals to draft some guy named Bijan Robinson in that draft, But hey,
so now Robert says, if you're going to show Monty the door with Gannon, the talent. If you're not going to show Monty the door with Gannon, the talent evaluation process needs to be improved. I'm not saying Monty's perfect. I'm not saying Monty's perfect at all. I'm saying he made a mistake with his coach's hire. You can fix that. Yeah, I do believe sometimes GMs need to go, but I am too close to Monty. We sit by Monty's mom, his parents, and his family.
Oh, okay.
Sweetest Bruce. She is the sweetest lady you've ever met in your life. And everything like that. So I'm a little too close to Monty. And I told him after the game, I said, I looked at him and I go, hey, we're going to see you guys next year. And the dad literally goes, kind of watch me when I do this, but his dad goes, oh yeah, definitely, you'll see it. Well, Monty's not safe. Monty hasn't been told what his future is, or at least Dad doesn't know about it. That's the reaction that he had.
I would agree with you. I would definitely bring Monty back.
I just think, they did it with Keim. Generally, okay, we made a mistake here. Monty's first time being JM. Let him fix that mistake. Okay, this is the type of coach I need.
But
not
is that if you look back on it and go, hey, we let Keim hire another coach, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well,
Well,
there was a lot of say what you want about Cliff Kingsbury. There was success here at times.
well, again,
till December came.
again, yeah, you're right about that. Every season except his first, the Cardinals had a winning record until they went into December.
Yeah.
And they nosedived, and so that became the narrative. Yeah. But then when they went out and got some playmakers, they were 7-0, 10-2. I'm at the game where the Cardinals can beat the Packers to go to 8-0.
Yeah.
And they're on like
it doesn't turn around.
They're on, AJ Green, dude, what is your problem, man? I mean, dude, he's like looking at the scoreboard straight ahead.
He's looking at the big screen.
I've heard that Kyler gave the run signal to everybody. I've heard every excuse. I've heard he didn't turn around. He missed the signal. I've heard everything in the book on the excuses on that play. But bottom line is, even if it is the run signal, you turn around and look for a ball.
That's my whole point. That's my whole point.
You don't not run your route and turn around and look for the ball.
It's fourth down in game.
Yes.
It's fourth down. Even if the play's not calling for me, I'm going to look back to see if we score.
Especially with a quarterback that's known to scramble quickly. You don't know, he might not even still be there.
But despite that, they were still 10-2.
Yes.
And before D Hop went down. And it just bothers me that the Cardinals have lacked the I don't want to call it ambition, but I don't know what it is the word I'm looking for. But whatever they've lacked the ability. How about that? To bring in, difference makers, playmakers. Instead, they have tried to make Kyler Murray the savior. No. Add some dadgum playmakers to this freaking team offensively.
That's also why I think you need to get rid of Kyler Murray. I can't figure out, and I've heard both sides of this from people close to the team. I can't figure out if they're placating. They've just placated to Kyler all these years because you have to. Because that if you don't, Kyler's going to pout. Or if they're
you can't run a football team if you're going to allow the inmates to run the
lean toward the side of they always placated. But then the rumors are now Kyler has to have a say in who they draft, and they told him no. Well, so you're not placating to your quarterback.
Well, good. But look, and I'm so far removed because I'm no longer with the media anymore. But I heard so many good things.
You're here, Coop.
I heard, I heard so many good things in the offseason about Kyler Murray.
What you hear about him not working, that's actually false. He actually works really hard in the offseason.
But I just thought that he was putting all this, I'm reading how he's putting all this extra time with Marvin Harrison so they can get their chemistry.
That was the narrative going into this season.
Yeah, I'm hearing all these good things. I'm like, great, the guy's now being a leader. He's been, and look, You should have been 4-1, but even if with that being said, you have to beat the Titans. You have them beat in that game. Yeah. You're 3-2. Here's this what I find myself wondering: if the Cardinals indeed beat the Titans on that day and they move their record to 3-2,
what happens?
Is Kyler still playing?
What happens? Okay, hey,
yes,
I'm going to pull a power play here.
Okay,
we've spent 40.
Move on.
3 minutes.
Okay.
Talking negative about the.
I got one more thing.
We got some positive things going on around here.
Hold on. Before you get to that.
Like what?
Wait, hold on. Before we get to that, there'll be no positivity in this moment right now, except for Jonathan Gannon. Jonathan Gannon was asked yesterday in his press conference about his team. He's not going to talk about the 29 snaps Marvin Harrison Jr. took with only 3 targets on Sunday for a number 4 pick. Let's see what Jonathan Gannon has to say about his team.
Yeah, it does, Craig. It really does. I think, though, I believe in what we do. I believe in our process. Like I said to you guys a couple weeks ago, I believe in this team. Yeah, the results haven't been there, but I haven't lost confidence. I really haven't, and not to say that we haven't tweaked things during the year. Obviously, we have had to play with different people. That's part of the game. We'll look at everything that we're doing when it's time to do that and make adjustments, because you're right. I always say, I'm not going to keep going down doing the same thing, So I got to look at everything, and you know, Craig, like I take it on the chin. I'm responsible for everything that goes in and out of that building. So ultimately, that's my responsibility.
Well,
How can you sit down yesterday and go, I still have faith in our process?
yeah, he may still have confidence in the team, but I don't have confidence in him.
That's
a
the
big
problem.
deal.
That's my point. Is he's continuing with that same narrative? That just goes to my point of where's the inspiration? Where's that inspiration that things are going to change? And then you look at it, right? They were 6-4 last year,
Yeah, at this time.
and now
before
they've
the
won
break.
5
Yeah.
games since.
Yeah.
You can't bring them back just based off of that failure across the board. And the fact that don't make any change. If he would have made changes this year, I'd be like, all right, he's been trying to figure it out. Sean McVay fired his special teams coach.
Yeah.
I don't know. Last I checked, they have 11 wins.
Hey, but that was, I thought, was a BS call on, because I know it wasn't special teams, but
Yeah.
that 2-point conversion,
Hey, yeah, that was
dude,
backwards.
I have major issues.
You
with
can't.
that.
I don't get. I'm just confused. You can't advance a fumble under 2 minutes, but you can advance that. Like, why don't my head hurts?
No,
man,
well, the guy,
about
he
that.
picked it up in the
Why
recovery was made in
There's
the
a
end
whistle,
zone.
but because he picked it up, it was a clear recovery.
I mean,
It's like, what are we
but
doing?
that's not a lateral.
I know.
Let's get positives. It's Christmas
Dale.
season.
Dale, get us positive.
Coop.
Okay,
Well,
I'll go positive.
Coop.
Scottsdale Christian Academy Eagles are champions once again because they have a great coaching staff. And maybe is it addition by omission?
Yes, it's addition by subtraction. Coop, I just got one question for you. You're an ASU alum.
I am.
Are you the one that's going to be stroking that $20 million check?
Trust me, if I had that, I would certainly be sending it his way. But look, I was happy to see ASU actually commit and give. See, it wasn't necessarily, and this is what I love about Dillingham. It wasn't about him getting more money for himself.
Mm-hmm.
He's so in to making sure that his coaching staff is properly compensated, and he's so into seeing if he can get better NIL deals so Texas Tech doesn't have a booster that can get them over the hump. And while he could get from the ASU administration, getting more compensation for his assistants, that administration can't help him with the booster part. I mean, I know that there's some. And look, I love Dillingham. Maybe he can get James Harden to come out. Maybe he can get Phil Mickelson to come out of pocket. I mean, look, there's some pretty wealthy alums that could
I'm
get
sure
back.
there's some business people.
Yeah. And
Okay,
and
here's my
sometimes-
point though.
okay.
If they're inclined to do that, they would have already have done that.
Well,
No, but here's the deal. ASU had a guy named Todd Graham who I thought was the ultimate salesman.
Oh,
I mean, he could get you. I mean, I would be.
Dr. Crow's a hell of a fundraiser, but he doesn't fundraise for sports.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, Todd Graham was amazing. But let me tell you something. I've seen Dillingham take that energy even above what I saw with
Right.
Todd Graham, and that's saying something. So I think Kenny can actually get. I mean, he's so energetic. He's so everywhere. I mean, Todd Graham was everywhere. He was at every speaking engagement. He didn't
By the
turn
way,
those down. He was
Todd
kissing
Graham,
bait.
another guy from this area, wanted to be here forever type of a situation.
But
His
not
family
to
was
stay.
from here. No, but no, he didn't go to school there and stuff to that effect. But same type of an energy and stuff like that. Do not kid yourself here, gentlemen. And Chris Cartman has this reporting as well, and I'm just telling you. We were dangerously close to losing Kenny Dillingham to Michigan.
I don't believe that for 1 second.
Michigan
I don't believe
wanted
that for 1
DeBoer
second.
first, and they were just hanging on to that side of things. And if this deal wasn't done, we would be without a coach.
Well,
And it took them how long to negotiate this with them?
Yeah, but
This is gonna
you
be a
also got to
simple
remember. You
negotiation.
also got to remember this. Todd Graham got fired.
Yes.
Todd Graham got fired.
Kenny's going to get fired if he doesn't perform.
Well,
also,
hey, let me tell you something. Now, if you go by the narrative, the rhetoric out there with Todd Graham, he was just
I'll
a
say
tyrant.
Todd
He
Graham.
wasn't-
he's not a nice person.
yeah.
at times.
I'm just trying to.
That's
Yeah,
what got,
those are
it
things
got
that
him
you're
fired
hearing.
from Hawaii. If you don't know, go to what he did in
Yeah,
Hawaii,
yeah,
and he
yeah.
did that here as well.
Yeah,
He was
So,
not a nice man at
you,
times.
you know, he as positive as he could be, as great of a salesman, as great of a ambassador that he could be, he also had his dark side. And that
giant jerk.
Yeah,
So
so
we're
that-
trying to stay positive here.
Yeah,
Coop.
yeah. So that
Giant
dark side
jerk.
led him to getting fired. I don't think that Dillingham has that dark side.
No.
So we're gonna be okay there. But
I just have a fundamental problem, and it's across the board, of universities continuing for their sports programs. We're talking billion-dollar entities, folks.
hey,
And asking asking your people that are already buying season tickets to invest more in your program just for the goodie of the program being good.
Okay,
Loosen up some of those push strings, Dr. Crow.
Hey, before I allow you to change the subject here, I want you to go back and explain to me why you think Dillingham was that close to going to Michigan.
Dillingham, if he didn't get what he wanted. Chris Cartman's reported on it as well, by the way. He actually reported on it and everything. You were dangerously close to losing him. Closer than you think you were.
See, there.
Then that blows me away. That statement blows me
there's
away.
two things here. Number one.
No,
Number one, Steve and the like, and I don't like it either. We can bitch and moan about the NIL and this is no guardrails and it's ridiculous and it's out of control and blah, 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 blah. Us old guys can bitch and moan about it all we want.
Sure.
But if you want to play college football, if you want to be in the game, that's the way the game's being played right now.
You got to pay to play.
You know, and it's like
you mean to tell me that the Arizona State University Dale doesn't have $20 million laying around that they can pump into the program?
They're already doing that. They're already doing that. They
Another
need more.
20. Raise your
need
tuition.
more. But
No. Look. Every school, per the NCAA, was given a budget. You can't exceed that. So now, but you can have boosters that can.
I know.
But see, it's like the uniforms, Coop. I've always said this. They're not doing 12 different uniforms for you or for me, for Steve. They're doing it for 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds. The NIL, we don't agree with it because we were brought up in a different era. But the guys that are involved in it, that's the way the game's played today.
Sure.
So if you want to have a successful program, as you pointed out, Texas Tech came out of nowhere.
Because of their boosters.
Yeah, because somebody decided, hey, let's make us a powerhouse. Yeah. And so that's the way the game's being played today. I agree with you. I like the fact that Kenny Dillingham, yes, I think he got a little bump.
Yeah,
and then maybe another year
I think it was
or two.
$1.5 million or something.
Yeah, but that wasn't his main
right,
causation.
exactly.
It was taking care of the staff and things like that.
Yeah, it's just I'm just telling you, it's sad. But we almost lost Kenny.
look.
And if we would have lost Kenny, this would have set back the ASU program to levels I don't know if they would have been able to recover.
First of all, out there, I disagree with him. I disagree with Cartman. ASU was not close to losing Kenny Dillingham at all. And secondly,
they were negotiating with them for months.
The next thing that I'm most interested in is to see the transfer portal, which opens on January 2nd. Mm-hmm. And I guess it stays open for a couple of weeks. I'm anxious to see the players that Arizona State is able to bring in and where Sam Levitt winds up.
Well, and to think of this, January 2nd, isn't that when they play their bowl game?
No, they're at the 31st.
They're the 30th, 31st.
Oh, it's a holiday bowl. Arizona's playing.
Yeah, Arizona's on that
January
day.
2nd.
But I think that was a dig there on Arizona at first.
Well, we're still waiting on him to tell us when.
Text to come in here. But in all seriousness, it's. Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff wrong with college football, but Kenny Dillingham's what's right about it, and we get to keep him here and stuff to that effect. But it is a play, and I'll give Dr. Crow, which I'm not a guy. He does great stuff on the school side, fantastic fundraiser,
side.
all of that. But he needs to get his head around how much sports can help. Pac-12 went away because of his "we don't do this" attitude. Him and Ray Anderson famously said, "We don't do NIL here," when it first started coming out.
Right.
And you've got to get in on this bandwagon. You got to bite into it. You've got to get money there for it and not do it. They negotiated reportedly for several months to get. Isn't this a no-brainer deal what Kenny Dillingham got? If you want to compete in college sports, this is a no-brainer deal what Kenny Dillingham got. And it took him months to put it together, reportedly. That's where you're still disappointed in this process. This should be the starting point of negotiations right now, moving forward. ASU's got the money. Knock it off. Invest in your sports programs. or fall back and be in a, an NAA program or whatever at that point. 'Cause that's what you're headed to.
Hey, you know what shocked me? I was reading where Molly Miller, her ASU women's basketball team is
Undefeated.
14 and 0. Are you
and, yeah,
kidding
and they're
me?
now, and
I don't know the level of competition that they
hasn't- it
played
hasn't been- it hasn't been
non-conference
great.
wise,
It hasn't been
but I
great.
mean 14 and 0 is still.
I don't
14
care
and
who
0.
you're playing. 14 and 0. Like
No.
Arizona being undefeated, a men's side is impressive, right? And all those guys.
Oh, well, I
Yeah,
would
no,
expect-
14
that wouldn't surprise me.
She hasn't lost going back to the very, very beginning of last year at GCU. Here's the other side of it. GCU, President Mueller was all like, well, she looks every year. We want somebody that wants to be here. As of last time I looked a week ago, they'd only won one game this year on the women's side on that side. Be careful what you wish for there, President Mueller
Yeah,
of GCU.
yeah. So hey, I'm gonna give props to Molly. I mean, look, I was totally unaware of that,
And they're fun to watch, too. Like
Is that right?
we talked about it last week with the men's program. Yeah, they lost.
Oregon
a
State.
horrible
How
loss.
they
Oregon
lose to
State.
Oregon State?
That's a terrible team, and that's the problem. They were making the run up the net rankings and going to Big 12. They're going to have to beat a good Big 12 team.
Yeah, they
this year
beat
to get in
two
there.
two SEC teams on
And
the
hung
way
in-
to
and hung in there with Gonzaga.
Yeah, I'm like Oregon State at home. Man.
And they were down early in that game. How they come back? It's just that was a painful loss. But these guys are still. They came back in that game. I watched it later on because I was at the Cardinals game. They came back. They fought hard. They came back at the end. It's a fun team to watch. A la the Suns as well. From that side, I say Dylan. Your buddy Dylan Brooks there is targeted by the NBA. What say you? they're watching him closely.
Well, he brings it on himself, just like Draymond.
Well, yeah, but I'll tell you what. I'm not here to try to sound like I'm being a homer or anything like this, but I did see a major discrepancy or difference in video replay on identical plays. Let me take you back to the Suns game against the Lakers. Brooks hits a three to put the Suns up 114, 113 with 12 seconds left. LeBron gave a little jab like that in his chest. Do you know that when the Suns next game they're playing against the Golden State Warriors, the Suns are up 5. Curry takes a shot, misses it, and your boy Brooks goes like that. Now they went to replay in each one. They didn't call a foul against a flagrant against LeBron James, but they did against Dylan
He's
Brooks.
being targeted.
I mean, it's the exact. I'm like, dude, look. I'm
Coop.
trying my best not to be a homer,
In that
but
first-
that's what I see. I can't help. That's what I
No,
see.
I'll help you out. In that first Golden State game, no foul called. They stopped the play. No foul called, and they stopped it to go review if there was a flagrant action on Brooks. They stopped. No foul called, and they blew the whistle and go, "We're going to look and see if there was an action at it," and they ended up rescinding it. But not even they're looking at flagrant fouls when there's not even fouls called on the court on Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, maybe Dale makes a point. I mean, it's the history.
Well, it's the history, and the other thing, when he had I'm going to do some soul searching, and
Yeah,
I got to talk about that. I was telling Steve and our audience, I used to have a temper in basketball. Seemed more so in basketball than in football.
Wait, you used to have a temper?
And my dad, I don't think I ever committed a foul, Coop, just so you know. and evidently I turned away from the official and mouth things like, bad words. And I'd always turn towards the home stands for some reason, and my mom would see it. My dad said, Dale, just one time, I want you to raise your hand when a foul's called, bounce the ball back to the official, do whatever you need to do, and keep your wits about you. And so I decided to do that one time. Only time in 3 years of varsity basketball, Coop, that I scored not in double digits. Thought I was going to have a heart attack. Played the worst game of my career. So some of that is just innate. That's you. Being Dylan Brooks is what I'm comparing it to.
Yeah, and so, but Dale, see, I don't have look. I understand that who Dylan Brooks is, what his history is, and so I understand that there's a give and take. So whatever that he gives me, I got to take whatever he's going to dish out. But the problem I have, Dale, and I just worked so hard. I looked at it because I looked at it a million times. That's exaggerating, but I mean, Dale, the video review
Oh, I
is there.
understand. I
You
understand.
cannot make differences or have a popularity contest when you're dealing with
But-
actual video.
But Coop, you've watched basketball for a long, long time. Are you telling me that superstars don't get preferential treatment?
They do, Dale. They do, but not with video review.
That's
They,
the
they, when the whistle is called in real time, yes, you expect that. But I expect the proper call to be made when you go to video review.
But so my problem with video review is especially in that first Suns Warriors game, these games are unwatchable. They stop stuff for no reason to go to video review, and the refs gotta tap on the mic, get there in front, lean in, with his way too tight shirt to make them look buffer than they are, and they gotta go. We're going to video review here to look at something stupid we didn't call on the court, and then 5 minutes later they come back and they go, yeah, we were wrong, or we were right. We need to call this here. It makes it unwatchable at this point. It really does.
Okay,
It's
haven't
just gotten worse.
said all that. They're sitting here at 15 and 13.
Yep.
Battling for a playoff spot. They got the Lakers tonight.
Well, don't forget to mention. We got to mention Jalen Green's update.
He waits 2 to 3 weeks.
But the problem is they said 4 to 6 originally, and now it's another 2 to 3
Yeah.
weeks.
Well,
Does that say setback?
And that's fine. Let them stay out till the middle of January.
Yeah, look, I've never really had a hamstring injury, but I know people who have, and they just tell it it's such a temperamental injury. And
It's something like 33% of NBA players re-injure that injury after they come back.
Because at the end of the day, you try and go full speed in practice, and you don't. There's a different gear you have in a game.
Yeah.
And so you feel good in practice, and then all of a sudden you haven't got to that gear yet. But here's my question. The Lakers tonight, then they go New Orleans, Washington, Cleveland, Sacramento.
I'm sure New Orleans is actually playing.
Yeah,
really
they're
well
playing
right
well now.
I was shocked to see that.
But
yesterday.
here's the deal. I remember when the Suns were really surprising us in November and stuff. We looked ahead at this December schedule.
Yep.
And we said if the Suns can survive this December schedule, they're going to be all right. Well, regardless if they win or lose tonight, they're going to come out of the meat of that very difficult December schedule above 500.
Yep.
So I think it's a win-win. And so I've already looked at, and I see where the Lakers aren't going to be playing Luka Doncic tonight. So that takes some of the fun away from me because I just absolutely love the give and take between Brooks and Luka and Brooks and LeBron.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worth the
But
price
is
of admission.
LeBron playing? Because LeBron and Brooks is worth the price of admission by itself.
Yeah, it is. But I enjoyed it. I enjoy it. So we may miss out on that, and maybe I enjoy the Luka a little bit more just because how he's antagonized Devin. So I'll still watch tonight though.
Yeah, I think I will too.
It'll be fun. Anything else? Diamondbacks, doing their stuff out there.
Well,
Any Diamondbacks thoughts?
I'm just surprised that as many teams that have come forward in the Cattell Marte
one's
supposed
backed out.
sweep step. Yeah. The I guess was Boston.
And then they traded for Contreras with St. Louis instead. They
Yeah,
backed
but-
out.
but-
That tells you the Diamondbacks are asking for too much, doesn't it?
Well,
In their eyes.
I guess that's a good point. That's a good point because I'm like, with that number of teams, I'm just surprised that there hasn't been a deal because Hazen's already admitted he will listen to all the deals, and so hey,
Well, what's the
maybe
holdup then?
maybe he is asking for the farm,
Well, I mean,
and there's nothing.
you got to
wrong with
let Bregman's got to. Some of these big name free agents have to sign because if you're in the running for Bregman, for instance, just throwing him out there because he's in the talks with the Diamondbacks supposedly, you're not going to trade for Cattell Marte if you can get a Bregman, right? So you have to wait for these big guys, free agents, to sign, I think, before a trade. But I don't know. I just wonder if the Diamondbacks are asking too much for. Because I would take Cattell Marte over Contreras with the Cardinals, and obviously the Red Sox changed their mind on that.
Yeah, well, look, I've seen all of a sudden the starting rotation I think has already come to fruition.
All five of them. And then you're gonna have Burns coming up,
Yeah,
too.
you got Soroka, and then you re-signed Kelly. So yeah, I'm like, okay, well, I thought the big deal, the impetus of trading Cattell was to get back some frontline starting pitching.
Mm-hmm.
But if you've already addressed that, and you still have, and you talk about Corbin Burns will rejoin that at mid-season. Maybe you don't even want to trade.
Let me ask you this: Bregman or Marte? I'm surprised at how so many
You
local
can't-
media members.
You can't have both.
Well, you could. Are they going to open up that?
Yeah, I don't know if they would. But I'll tell you what.
But if it comes down to either or, which one you siding with? 'Cause I'm surprised. A lot of the local media chose the person that I'm actually shocked they chose. Shouldn't surprise me.
I don't even know who they chose.
Well, I'll tell you in a second.
But I guess having said that, I would probably stay with Cattell because I loved what I saw.
I'm
with
shocked by this.
I loved what I saw with Blaze Alexander at third base. And I just don't know. And I hear the Diamondbacks are working Blaze more in the outfield. I'm like, dude, that dude was so solid.
They're going to
at
move
third
Lawler
base.
to second. That's the point. Short set.
Oh,
Second.
but I think Lawler's a guy that you can actually trade.
So, I'm shocked. Most of the local media is saying stick with Cattell. I'll take one of the best third basemen in the league, for the, and that means, getting rid of
Bregman?
Cattell and getting rid of the best or top 2-3 of second baseman and that, mainly because Bregman is going to get hit by a pitch this year and show up to the game the next day. And Cattell Marte doesn't do that.
But,
And that locker room
got-
gets more solid. You get that toughness back into there, from everybody. He's a leader, and that's why I would make that trade. You're not giving anything up other than that.
You gotta love Steve. You really do. I mean, he will not. He gets set on something. He won't let it go. That hit by pitch and playing through pain. Steve is so down on Marte on that. He will not relent. I love it.
Yeah, that's why I would make the move. And I'm shocked. I'm shocked at the amount of people going, I'd stick with Marte. I don't get it. They're similar players otherwise, except for that toughness side. And one less player to go to the Dominican Republic after the All-Star game. The flight miles will be less on the plane.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, what are you doing for Christmas as we wrap up the show today?
Biggest thing on my mind is always. Make sure that the family, the girls in the house are enjoying themselves with their gifts, and then it's about ball and vittles.
Yeah.
Ball and vittles. I mean, I'm going to eat, watch ball, eat, watch ball some more, eat. I mean, that's my Christmas.
Let me ask you this, because before I ask this question, are you coming in next week, or are you taking next week off?
Sure. If you want me in, I'll be
Tuesday?
in.
Come on in.
If you want me in, I'll be in.
We'll be here Tuesday. We're going to be Monday and Tuesday next week. I'll be here Friday. Dale's, got
way more
Hey,
important.
watch
hey,
his
hey,
hair or
hey, let me
something.
tell you
But
something.
I'll be
out
here
there.
Friday. But we're
I got one final
Yep,
note. I got a Christmas card in the mail
I showed it earlier.
from. Oh, did you really? I mean, did you see how beautiful that family was, except for one individual in there?
Are you
And-
making
and-
fun?
And look,
I mean,
and he's
this-
the dead center. When you open it up,
I mean,
Look at that.
Boom, there he is.
This one. I mean, that's like, dude.
Can't you see the beauty of my daughters in me?
I think the back.
I don't think I'll go there for-
The back is the cutest
Yeah,
thing
the-
ever.
the kids,
That should be
yeah.
in the middle, unlike that.
Yeah,
Look at that.
How did he wind up with such a beautiful family?
I'm just.
I don't get that.
I'm just more upset that he actually spent money to send you yours. And me, he just throws it out of you this morning.
I've known Coop for a while, and plus Coop's invited me out for lunch and things like that. So
Here we go with that. Then I'll save my question about the next round of the playoffs for next week. Then, we'll talk college football playoffs next week if you're coming in on Tuesday. I'll save that there. But appreciate you coming in today. Always fun with the legend, Bruce Cooper.
Enjoyed it as always. See you next week, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Hey, Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to you.
Hey, and we'll talk about that vaunted Sun Bowl coming up next week.
Oh, that's right. Because Tuesday I'm leaving. Right after the show, I'm leaving. I'm headed toward El Paso.
Hey, before the Sun Bowl, I get a chance to watch the statue once again
Yeah.
this weekend.
Sunday
Statue in Cincinnati.
Will he be able to fold his arms with how many jackets he has on to stay warm is the question coming up from that side. So Coop will join us next Tuesday as well, along with Uncle Lou. For me and Dale, have a great Christmas. We're off the next couple of days. I'll do a show on Friday. Just come in and have some fun with you guys. And then, of course, Dale and I will be back on Monday, Tuesday of next week. And all of that. Get ready for the New Year's out there. Folks, come and join us. We'll see you then, everybody. The main event.